You like Trump? Good girl. You like Biden? Okay, I'm going to try to do my best to explain this the best way I know how. You can use a bird watt meter. Don't have to have a peak kit or that in it. This one has one. I try to put one in all of my got, but you ain't got to have a peak kit in it, just regular watt meter. And it will read forward and reverse. Reverse would be reflect. Forward would be your final output. So if you had a 2 pil here and it done 400 watts, you'd read 400 watts through it. But this is for setting up an antenna. This coax here is to my antenna. This one here is coming back from my radio, which is an amplifier before this too. I got one of those hooked in. Alright, well, normally you take a watt meter and you dead key the mic and you adjust it, you calibrate it, and then you turn it to SWR and it tells you what the SWR is. 1 to 1, 1.5, 1.8, 1.2, I mean 2.2, or 2.0, whatever, SWR. Well, this reads it in wattage. And the less wattage you got, the better it is. So, this amplifier, I mean, I ain't got no amplifier hooked up yet. I mean, it's hooked up, but it ain't running. Alright? So this is just with the radio. Like I said, this is going back towards the radio. This is going out to the antenna. This is the antenna side. Alright? So I got my antenna and I want to adjust it. Alright, I didn't use a Rig Expert or MFJ to tune it in as best as I can possibly get it. Well, just because you got it in on this, just don't put in but a few milliwatts, if that. It's so little that it won't even register on a watt meter with a 1 watt slug. It won't even register through it. But so after you done your tuning on this, you can put it ain't necessarily got to be a bird watt meter, it could be a dozy. You just hook it up backwards. Where you normally hook the antenna in, you hook it into the radio part. So you just switch your coaxes around, put it on your lowest setting. This one's with a 5 watt slug in it, and it's reading 5 watts back. So this radio here is putting out about 40 watts. So if you get 1 watt back, that's not too good. You want to get it down as low as possible. So, okay, this is hooked up. It's in RMS, not in peak. It don't have to, it's reading that RMS. So this is going back towards the radio. Alright, I'm going to key the mic. Hello? Hello? You see it barely wiggle. Now this is a 5 watt slug, so all the way up will be 5 watts. Alright, so that's pretty good. Alright, let's take the 5 watt slug out, and I have a 1 watt slug. You don't see these many. I think it's the only one I've ever seen 1 watt. But you turn that around in reverse. And like I said, I got a 40 watt radio. Between peak is about 12, 14 RMS. So, hello, hello. It's just barely wiggling in 1 watt. So there's your reflect with the radio on it. Alright, I got an amplifier up here. It's always on my bench here. That's a 2-pil. That puts out about 400 peak watts. So I'm going to turn that on. Turn the variable power on it wide open on the amplifier, not on the radio. The radio probably dead key, but we're going to check it on swing too. So it'll do, like I said, about 400 watts. So this is going to be better knowing that I handle more power. The more you go up, the less this goes over. And like I said, it's in reverse now. So the power's going through this way. But whatever's coming back from that antenna through the dielectric the shield part of the coax is coming back. This would read it as SWR or wattage back. So you don't want this to hardly move. Alright. So that's the 5-watt slug in. Like I said, it's reading backwards. Hello. Hello. So that's 1 watt, 2 watt, 3 watt, 4 watt, 5 watt. Alright. I can still do a little fine tuning on the antenna, but with 400 watts out and only 1 watt coming back, that's really good. You're only losing, you put out 399, you're only losing 1. So that's a good ratio of wattage. But I can still do a little bit of tuning on it to do that. Alright, 1 watt slug back in there again. Hello. So it's that's that 1 watt slug. This was 5 watt. It was going up about 3/4 of a watt. Well, this is showing only, this slug will be tighter, so you have to take it with a grain of salt. This 1 watt slug is showing, so full deflection will be 1 watt, so you go by the 100 watt, but it'd just be 1 watt. So this would be 1/4 of a watt, 2/4, 3/4, and a full watt. So, hello, that's a 1/4 watt of reflect with 400 going out. Do you understand that? So, take this slug out, put my 1000 watt slug in, and this is my 2-pil. So this is a 1000 watt slug. You read that bottom scale, it should be around 400 or so with this radio in it. Hello. Well, that's right. It's on in RMS. That's about 200, but in peak it's on now. In peak, it's about 400. Hello. So 400 peak, and it's about what was that? About 100 watts average. Hello. That's 1,000. Hello. So it's about 180 average with that radio in it. Let's take that out. Put a 250 watt slug in, and that was showing about 100, and so it should be over here between the 150 and 200. Hello. So yeah, about 170 or so. 170. But reflect again, 250 watt slug. Hello. Barely wiggle. Just to show you that, I mean, you ain't got to necessarily use a low wattage slug. It will help, but if you only got a 50 watt, this is a 50 watt in there, you just make it where it barely wiggles. Hello. Hello. It's barely wiggling on that. So if you want to get down to it, like I said, this 5 evidently is a little loose. Because it's showing more than that 1 watt. Say it's B5, 1 watt would be, so you read in the middle scale, one would be 1 watt, and 50 would be 5 watts. Hello, read about 3/4 of a watt. But then you take the watt slug, 1 watt, stick that in there, read reflect. Hello. So that's about 1/4 watt. Full deflection will be 1 watt. So it's 1/4 watt. Hello. So a quarter of 400 peak watts going out. I'll just be RMS. A quarter of 170 RMS watts would be a quarter. So that's the way you can check your reflect with this, and you can set up an antenna. You can go do a little adjusting on it, adjust it down or up just a little bit, and see if your wattage changed. So what I would do was take that and hit hello with the same amplifier. Don't change anything. The same amplifier. Hello. So right down, I had 1 1/4 watt. Not one, but say I had 1/4 watt. I just put it as 1 or 10 on the meter, and think of this like a 10 watt slug, and try to get it down. So go just the antenna down or up and see if it goes down. If it goes up, of course you went the wrong way, you need to go the other way. And I'd say when you done got this with this in it, that it should be right. But that's how I would tune that. So that's how to use a bird watt meter and tune antenna. Now when I check my antenna, like I said, I've set it up with the Rig Expert. How's the SWR chart there? 1.03, and it's resident on 27.105. It might change when I re-hit it again. No, it didn't. But it's yeah, it's showing good around channel 10. But don't put a lot into this, because I think yesterday when I checked it, it checked good around about channel 15 or so. So, and it's nighttime, and the dude's done gonna come out, so it might check a little different. Don't go out there and make no drastic changes to your setup. Really don't make any changes. Take about 4 days before you do it. Get a reading, and do it in the daytime, nighttime, whenever you want to do it. But don't just go making drastic changes to it, because you might mess it up. What it shows today, it might not show tomorrow. So let's put it like that. Let's see, go back. Go to SWR meter. Of course, it shows the same thing. Go up to 40. Of course, it's going to have a dip like it was just showing. 40 is 1.3. Go back down to 1. 26.9. Yeah. So it likes the lower channels a little bit. The dip ain't as perfect as it ought to be, but like I said, it checks different in the daytime. But there you go. Let's try this here. So I transmit it. I'm on channel 17, and that can change. You can go down to like channel 1 and check it there. So the same 1 watt slug, same amplifier. I ain't gonna change nothing but the channel. Alright, I'm going to channel 1 and see if it's any difference. I'm on channel 1 now. A while ago it was at the 10 mark. Hello! And see, it's actually more. Hello! So that's near about, that's 3/4 of a watt. Hello! And the rig expert said it was better down there than it is up top. Alright? So now I'm on 40. Hello! It buried it on 40. Let's go down to channel 20. But now it is with 170 watts out. Channel 20. Hello! So like I said, a little over that. Let's go down to Rig Expert said it's good on about channel 10. Let's go down channel 10. Hello! So that's 1/4. Let's go back up. That's channel 13. Hello! It's getting a little better. Channel 15. Hello! Channel 16. Hello! So we're about, it's looking about on channel 15. Hello! See, as I go up, it goes up. It's got a dip in it. So, hello! Channel 14, channel 15 is about where it likes it. Hello! But now, like I said, you're going to have a little dip in there. You got to find your best frequency and set it up for that. If you want to talk channel 28, set it up for channel 28. But this is how you do it. Understand? And like I said, I didn't use no peak kit on it other than show you the wattage of it. And the amplifier was put out. You ain't got to have peak or nothing. You can actually use a dozy watt meter. Say it's got 5 watt, 10 watt slug, I guess, whatever that's got. Just hook it up backwards and put it on the lowest scale and go to what channel you think is best. And or you can go through your channels and check your wattage and see the lowest point. And like I said, do it over about a 3 or 4 day span because it could change. Do it at daytime, do it at night, and just see where you're at. And then get your average from that. That's what I would do. But, alright, that's that. I hope this helps someone. And like I said, I might check it tomorrow, and it might be a little different, but I know it's around 15 to channel 17 is where mine's the dip comes out. But even the Rig Expert, it shows it on down it shows it about channel 10. But when you increase the power, you go increase the reflect power. So, alright then. I hope it helps somebody out. Helps that explains things with a bird watt meter. Of course, if you put out more watts, you're going to have to do more tuning. So if you put out 10,000 watts, you need to probably check it with 1,000 watts or so and get that down. But the more watts you put out, say if you got 1,000 watts going out, you got 1 watt of reflect, of course that's great. But if you got 10,000 watts going out and you got 100 watts reflect, it's still pretty good. Out of 10,000, you only get 100 watts back. That's a pretty good. That's pretty good. I mean, of course, you'd want it lower than that if you can get it, but I'm just saying it will do that. You just will get some reflect back. So there you go. Okay, good evening. I was just doing my video on reflect using a amplifier and a bird watt meter to show reflect. Alright, I'm going to try to get to this and do a video on this and try to see if this will help people out too. Okay, tune in. Say this was the amplifier. Well, you want to tune backwards going towards the radio, or going to the other amplifier, or going from your big box through that amplifier, which is not in transmit mode, not on. You just talking through it, talking through your line sections or your watt meters or whatever. So this coax here goes up, goes around through here, goes up, goes to this line section, comes out of this line section, goes into the output of this amplifier. So where I'm checking the reflect on this meter is here. And that would be in between this amplifier and whatever amplifier I have hooked up on the table. So it's here. I'm going to test it here. I'm going to test it here, through this line section, out of that line section, into the antenna part of this amplifier, to where the radio's at. See, you're going backwards. Where the radio hooks up at, it comes out and goes to the radio, which is it was on a switch box, but I got the switch box unhooked. So here's the switch box. I'll show you that on a different video. Alright. I'm going to unhook the coax. And I had to tune this. I tuned it through. I put a longer length of coax on it than I needed. It's actually barrel connected over there because this goes in line. I got it out of line right now, but it's got a barrel connector over there. Alright, so I'm checking from here, like I said, through that line section, through this amplifier, and it goes to right here. Alright, and you go to the R and X chart, because there's nothing hooked up to that other end. I'm just reading through all that. And so I'm going to hit run. I'm on, let's go down to frequency a little bit. Let's go to channel 17. Alright, hit run. Alright. It's resident for 27192. And I done a video on this the other day, and I was trimming it, and I put the end on it. I got 2 pieces of coax in there. One of them goes to this radio, and one of them goes to this radio. But I just done this one the other day, and the video didn't turn out too good. But I actually trimmed this down. It was actually longer. It was about another foot longer. And I kept trimming it down little by little. So you got to trim it, hit run again, and then it'll give you your frequency there that it's resident for. But then again, you know, you get it kind of close, and then you put this end on it, it's going to change a little bit. So if I dialed this in for channel, say 20, and then I put this end on, it could go up to like channel 22 or down to channel 17. But if you get in the ballpark, it's a lot better than what you would be if you was running blind. But like I said, that's run all the way through that, and I will show you. So you see the resident frequency right there. It's on the bottom of the screen. Alright. Let's see if I can find a barrel connector. Let's just do this. Alright. Got this switch box. Let's add this to the end of it. That would add length to the coax. And let's just let's see if that'll hold right there. Alright, that's there. Alright, that should add some to it. So hit run again. And yeah, see, 26558. You see that? And that's all I did was add that on there. So my point being, as we tune coaxes. Alright, let me hit that again. That's all I've done is added that. So we've came down the frequency. We're out of actually not resident in the CB band anymore. Alright? And that's all I'm going to simply do. That was just there to hold it, and it didn't really do a good job. But take that out of line. And alright, hit run. Alright, it's back at its frequency again. Let me hit run again. See it run? Somebody's going to think I'm pulling something. Alright, there it is. Alright. Where's my switch box? What? There it is. It's a little switch box I made out of a relay. They put these three ends together, so when you're talking through it, it talks from here over to here, and of course you energize these, and when you energize this, it and pull the relays closed, it goes from here to here. At least I think that's what it does. It goes from here to here, or either from here to here, I think. I think it's from here to here. But anyways, I'm going to add this to it. I'm going to add that to it. And I think last time I checked it didn't add a lot to it. So, alright. The resident frequency, you see it there, 27. I hadn't hit run yet. 27192. Alright. Hit it again. It's a little bit out. It's actually out. I have to do a little messing around with that. You can do a little tuning. But yeah. See, just adding something to it makes a difference. But of course I can take that out of line. Let's try it to this side. See, just that little bit of a difference. The way it reads the signal through that relay. It's 27. It's at the lower side. It would be like channel 3 or 4 or something like that. I'm not sure. That's 27028. I think channel 1 is 2769. Or no, 2769. Is it 695? I don't know. It's late. Been up all day. It's 1 o'clock at night. But my phone ain't ringing. But anyways, yeah, it's more to this than you think. Let's go this side. I know this one is not in there, but it's just on the other side of it. This one's pretty much by itself, but it will add something to it. Alright, so that one's a little bit more down. But my point being is you can tune this stuff out pretty damn good. So that's off of there again. I'm gonna hit it. It should be back at 27 192 or 195. Alright, hit it again, run. There it is, 193. 193. That's what that unhooked. And like I said, anything you hook to this makes a difference. This is just where the radio hooks up. So I hope this helps somebody out about tuning through that. Tuning through their setup. You could actually, like where your big amplifier hooks up, if you're running multiple ones, you could hook this up, run it through the, check it like this one is checking through this amplifier. That's the driver. It's not on. It's not in transmit mode or nothing like that. This is where my radio hooks. So I know what my radio sees is perfect. So it should be, the radio should be liking that. It's getting to be my point. From this over to this should be right. Alright. Like I said, when you add anything to it, it kind of throws it off. This is not tuned for this meter being here. It's not tuned for this meter being here. So, nothing but simply adding this meter in. Alright, I'm going back to where the radio hooks at. Now, let's see what this checks here. Of course, that's going to look all cattywampus because, yeah. Alright, let's go back to, let's just go to SWR. Run a scan. Alright. See it. It's 1.04. And it's, the dip is, if I move this line over, the dip is on 26975. Like I said, it's not this. It's not set up for this meter being here. So you take this out. Let's see. I don't know where my barrel connector's at. I got them all over the place, but if I put a barrel connector here, it looks a lot better. Alright, I'm going to put that in line. See what it reads on out. I haven't tried that yet. Alright, it's getting a little better. 26975, so that would be like, I'd say channel 1, channel 2, something like it. It's getting in the band. Let's hit that again to confirm it. Yeah, it stayed the same thing. Let me see if I can find my barrel connector. My Lord, I know I got 60 or 70 of them. Alright, well, I hate to pause the video. There it is. See, I'll take pieces of coax and I'll leave them like this one here. This little short one, ain't 3 foot, ain't tuned, ain't nothing. I got some up here that's different lengths with one end on it, and I can add to it and see whether I need to take away or add. Alright, just with a barrel connector in it. That's the way I tuned it through it, so it should tick more like it should. So when you tune through an amplifier and you know you got an SWR in it, it should be pretty much like this barrel connector. The barrel connector still adds a little bit, but alright, it's still about the same thing. 26975. So I think it's around channel 1. A little above channel 1. But let's see. Yeah. It's checking for that. That's where it's at. But that's better than not knowing. And that's way closer than you would think. You could just put 6 foot jumpers. So if you put a 6 foot jumper from right here to that box, and a 6 foot jumper from there to this box, a 6 foot tuned one from here to there, it would show all screwed up. I mean, yes, they're tuned coaxes, but they don't. They're seeing the line section, they're seeing the amplifier. They're just because you add, it adds mass in between it. Like I said, look, you can look at it like this. So, all right, this one's reading where I said 26975, and that's all I'm gonna do is add this watt meter. And this will be the line section running through it. That's what it's running through. So this is adding that big chunk right there in there. The meter don't really see that because it's isolated from that. Alright, now hit run. Alright. That didn't really affect it too much. Well, good. Nope, didn't affect it too much. Alright, let's see if this goes to show you watt meter's pretty good. Let's go here and add this and see if we get any SWR through it. Or, yeah, SWR through this. Alright, it is on channel A, so it's not open. It's on channel A. So hit run now. Yeah, see, the SWR come up a little bit, but it's still resonant on that frequency. So it's a 1.08, and of course if I turn it over here, it's not connected. It's reading a crazy SWR. It ain't even there. But go back, so it shows you I'm not doing anything funny. So it's not too many SWRs. See that? Showing pretty good. I thought it would add more, but alright, amplifier. Let's see, radio side. Amplifier, the antenna side. Let's see if that adds anything to it. Let's see if it still stays 26975. 6.75. Hey, it went down a little bit. But yeah, that's what it's seeing going through there. So, I still got a little bit of tuning to do, it looks like. But, let's try adding a piece of coax. Alright, same piece of coax. Was the same one I had a while ago. Alright, I'm going to add that length to it. Over here on the radio side. I'll hook that up here. And that added about 2 foot something to it. And let's see what we get here. Alright. Actually got a little bit better. So no. But it matters when you tune it. So just do your best. Okay, I'm going to try to do a little video here on the way I tuned my coax up to my radio. So this coax here where I hook up my amplifiers, this is my antenna, this is my radio. It goes back towards the radio. It actually goes through this, through a line section, through an amplifier, and back to the radio. Alright. So the coax starts here, and I done pulled the radio out, and it ends here. That's actually what hooks up to this radio. So it's going backwards. It's here, goes up through this coax, goes into that line section with a 5-watt slug. That's where I read my reflect here before it gets to this amplifier. So you got amplifier comes out, and then it hits that line section, which tells this meter, and it goes to here. So we're going in backwards. This is where the input of the amplifier hooks up on the table. You go back, go through that line section, which is a 5-watt slug, reads through that meter. It goes into comes out of that line section, goes into the antenna part of this. You go in reverse. Come out of the amplifier, go into the radio section of that. The coax goes over here and comes out here. So I'm automatically going backwards. Alright. And I had to trim this piece of coax the other day. It was longer. It was longer than this, and I put an end on it, and I done a video on it, but it didn't turn out very well because I got a couple phone calls and I had to cut it and this, that, and the other. So I'm doing it again tonight. It's already right at 1 o'clock in the morning. So I'm going to try to get this done and do it in one shot. Alright, I'm going to hook the coax up here. And it is reading where my radio would be hooking up. So I'm feeding this signal through backwards. So like I said, through this coax, into that line section, out of that line section to the antenna, come out of the antenna, go to the radio, and it comes out here. So if I feed it back this way, going this way, it will show a little difference on it. I don't know why. I don't know why. You can check it one way, it'll show one frequency, it'll show one thing, and the other way it showed different. But it's the way I got it set up, it's the way I done it. So, alright, turn the meter on, go to X and R chart, alright, and it's, that's channel 19. Alright, channel 19, it's on a 2500 megahertz span. So it'll tell you resident frequency down here, and this is not hooked up to anything. I'm gonna hit run, and that's the frequency it runs out to, 27197. I'm gonna hit it again, verify it. It's gonna run again. It shows up 195. So I mean, it'll change a little bit. 196. It's in the range. So if I add something to this coax over here, which this, let's hook this up just for the hell of it. And it's an add mass to it, so it should go up in the frequency. Alright. So it changed a little bit. 26556. Hit it again, run again. Identical. Run again. Alright. Do nothing. There's the coax. Do nothing but take this end off. It's no smoke and mirrors. I'm going to do this with one hand. Just undo it. Unhook it. Hit run. Same thing. It goes back to where it was at. Goes back to where it was at. Okay? I hope that helps somebody out. Tune in your coax, do your stuff, and if you had multiple boxes, so if you had amplifier, watt meter, or line section watt meter, and then another amplifier pushing that amplifier, you can check it through all that. But remember, it will check different in other spots, because and if you put tuned coaxes on it, so you go, if this is not 6 foot, so if you put tuned coaxes on it, it will show different. This one is not 6 foot. Now I would say this probably equals up. I've not tried it, but I'd say this is probably going to equal up to some infinite number, you know, 12, 13, something like that. I don't know, whatever the next wavelength would be from 6 foot 7 inches, or 6 foot 2 inches with the RG400. But anyways, and adding something to this coax will make a difference. Like I said, you can hook up a watt meter. So to that other end, and hit that, and that watt meter's not hooked up to anything. Hit run. 26704, and that's all I've done was hooked up this watt meter. So I mean, if that's wrong, I don't know. Y'all chime in the comment section down there and see what you think about it. But alright, unhooked my watt meter. My watt meter's unhooked. Hit that back again, and it comes up to the same thing. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. Maybe I stumbled upon something. Probably did. I don't know. There it goes. That's just my way of thinking. And that's the way, when I tuned this piece of coax through that line section, through my coax coming back from my antenna, I took my coax loose where my antenna's at, and I can actually bring that in my door and physically set here with the RG400 here on this meter, and feed the signal backwards to this coax here, which is my antenna coax. And I had this longer, and I had the coax running in, and I was feeding it back this way, so it comes through the wall, goes to that line section, and ends up here. So this coax was longer, and but the other end of the coax where it went to the antenna, I had that hooked up to the meter, and I run that through. But yeah. And this is the antenna, my antenna, set up on there. Of course, let's go back to, SWR chart. Okay, hit run. Okay. My antenna's resident 27135, and like I said on the other video that I just done about the watt meter, don't do any major adjustments. Give it a couple of days. You can make a measurement in 3 days. And every day you'll get a different reading, a little bit different. Not a lot, not a drastic lot, but you'll get a little bit. But my point being is get 3 to 4 days of reading and don't do any movements. And then go to the center of that, and that would probably be your reading. Because do nighttime versus daytime, the solar effect or whatever they call it, it can be different things it contributes. Because I've checked this before on the same coax, same setup and everything, nothing any difference, and it would be on 27195. So it's a little low now. But like I said, I can check this tomorrow in the daytime, and it'll probably go up a little bit. It is, like I said, it's getting ready to be 2 o'clock in the morning. No shit. There it is, the date. And the time at night. It is nighttime. Really show you it's nighttime. It don't say AM and AM, but it is nighttime. So I hope this helps somebody out. Okay, later.